It's my birthday! I am really not ready for the 20s, not gonna lie. Like, can we just be 16 again? Like, I wish I had a time machine. What's popping, Spotties? It's your girl Ali back again with yet another video. Hey, your girl's back with another one. You know what's up? So if you're watching this video, like, basically it's my birthday. I am not ready to be a 20-something. Just wanna cry. Point is, I'm really not ready to be 20, but I just have to accept it. So to commemorate my teen years as I kiss them goodbye, I figured I could share with you guys what I had learned throughout my teenage years. Of course, there are a bunch of things that I learned, but the things I want to share with you guys are like really important things that I have learned throughout my teenage years. Well, most of these are the things that I actually learned between the ages of 15 16, because these two ages had a lot going on. Okay, no, 15 16 17, but then majority of them are things that I learned between 15 and 16. But point is, these are things that I learned throughout my teenage years. So let's dive in. Okay, so this is something I majorly learned when I was like 15, because like, if, as you guys know, like I started university at the age of 15, blah blah blah. So the thing is, most of the people that I was surrounded by were like in their late teens. Very few were in their late teens. Most were like in their early 20s, some in their mid. Very few were in their late 20s. But the point is, most of the people I was surrounded were in their 20s, right? So it felt really, should I say, overwhelming for me, I would say. Like, I just felt like I don't know how exactly I could phrase it, but then I just felt like I was the little one. Well, I was the little one, but then the fact that they pointed out, like, say stuff that, oh, you're so young, blah blah blah, go back to high school. But I explained all of that in my 15 and in uni video, so if you haven't watched it, go check it out. I'll put it up in the card as well as the description, but mostly in the cards, so you should check it out so you get enlightened on my 15 and uni experience. Yeah, throughout that time, I really was wishing to be in my 20s. At the time, I'd be like, gosh, I really wish I was 20. I really don't like being taken as a baby, blah blah blah, like being taken as a kid. Like, I really don't like that. Till date, I really don't like it when people are like, you're such a baby. Like, either way, I just learned to embrace my age. There's nothing I could change. Okay, at that time, there was no way I could just like magically be 20. Like, I had to like wait for like 5 years. And look at me now, turning 20, and I don't want to be 20. With time, I learned, you know, just embrace your age. Like, people are gonna say, oh, you're such a baby, or you're such this, blah blah blah, you're so young. Embrace it. Whether you're young, you're old, embrace your age. 15 was a very interesting age for me, because it's funny how I thought I was grown, you know? This was actually prior to like going to university and all. So around this time, this was when I had just written my MSCE, and you know, that gamma break where you're like waiting for results, applying to unis and all that jazz. We call it world. So the reason we called it world, well, the reason I would say it is called world is because now you're like fully exposed to like the outside world and blah blah blah. Around that time, I literally thought I was grown. I'm like, I'm done with secondary school. I'm gonna be in uni now. I am grown. I was just 15. Okay, in a way, it was like, yeah, like sure, I was growing, but I wasn't like grown. Like, I wasn't like 25 type of grown. I'm not saying I was doing things like I was 25, okay? I'm just saying I took it as if I'm like going towards that age. You get what I'm trying to say? So things like relationships, like, girl, like, I was way too young. Like, I had no business to be in a relationship at that age, let alone have boy drama. Let's be honest, boys at that age are the most, they really don't know what they want. Like, yeah, sure, at this age they still don't know what they want, but then it's like really extensive at that age. You get what I'm like? It's excessive, extensive. No, you tell me which was the right word, okay? But then yeah, like, I really had no business to be like rushing towards it. So that's like a major lesson. Like, you're just 15, like, yeah, sure, you're growing, but you're not like grown to do things like as if you're like grown. I hope I've made sense. If you're a teenager, don't like fall into like relationship drama and stuff. Like, you're too young. Trust me, you're too young. Live your life to the fullest, but then don't live it too full to the point like you actually have relationship drama and stuff, because it's not good for you. Yeah, this is something I also learned during the whole world's period, like towards like the time I was going to uni and stuff. Well, I would say like when I just finished my secondary school and the like, I got to like interact. I was still interacting with my friends that were back in secondary school. Like the bond was still as tight as it was when we left. But then as time went by, as we all started going to like different universities and the like the friendship kind of slowly faded. So when that was happening, I was like, oh my gosh, why is this happening? I mean, we were really, really good friends back in secondary school. What's going on now? Like, you know, that sort of thing. So with time, I got to understand like this is what happens. You know, like even people that I met during, like the friends that I made even during that period, it's also the same thing now. We're still friends, but then we don't really talk, you know, but then we're still friends. You get like, it doesn't make sense for those of you who have never like gone through this phase before, but I feel like a bunch of people have, and it's normal. I'll give you like a little short story. This was like also back in secondary school. So I was in Form 2 at the time, and I used to like write, okay, people that were actually friends with me in secondary school, yeah, like knew I used to write short stories. Not everyone knew about this, but people like in my friend group knew I used to write short stories and stuff. So I would write short stories from time to time, and they would read, you know, the short stories and stuff, and they'll be like, you're really, really good. And then with time, other people would also write short stories, yeah? They'll be like, hey, this person's stories, guys, they're so nice. And I would feel so threatened. So from that moment on, I'll just be like, that was like, I think the last time I actually wrote a short story was in Form 2. Because of that, because I heard that there was someone else that was really writing really, really good stories, you know, like very good stories. So from then on, I was like, nope, I'm done writing stories. But with time, I got to learn that you just gotta like focus on your own thing. There are gonna be people that are gonna do the exact same thing that you do and may seem as if they're doing better. You don't have to be threatened by them. You just have to like keep on doing that same thing, but then just try to bring out the best in yourself. If you're a Sky Girl, like you pretty much know that the Sky Girl pledge is being true to yourself. This is something I also learned like around the age of 17, where I was like, I just felt that I had to be someone. Like I was really trying my best to be someone that I wasn't. And it was really hard faking who you are, you know? But then when I was like, you know what, I am done trying to like please people in this certain way, let me just do me. It felt really good, it felt really relieving, you know? Like I really don't want to go deep into the details, but then the point is I wasn't who I was, and I really wasn't comfortable with being that kind of person, and I just accepted that, you know what, this ain't my thing, this is not who I am, let me just stick to who I am, and trust me, it feels really good. So I would highly recommend you do that. Just stay true to yourself. This is something I deal with like a lot. Like there are even times I even go like, girl, you're being too hard on yourself. Because I mean, let's be honest, we all take L's from time to time. Like it's normal, it's part of life. But for me, like I don't know if anyone else also experiences this, but then for me, it's just like, why did I do that? I would have so avoided that. I would have so done this, I would have so done that. You know, like that sort of thing. And it puts me in a very dark state, which isn't really good for my mental health. But then that's something that I usually do from like time to time. So with time, I've actually learned that I really shouldn't be hard on myself. I just have to accept like, hey, like it happens, like it's a loss. Like life goes on, like you ain't gonna die. Like sometimes it just feels like you're in a state where you really don't want to do, you really don't know where you stand actually. So it's like, you just feel like, man, like why did I do that? But then at the end of the day, like you just gotta accept it. You don't have to be too hard on yourself, because that's gonna make things worse. So best thing you can do is just don't be hard on yourself. This is something that I actually learned, and I wish I had accepted sooner in my teen years. Of course, I kind of learned this around the age of 17, but I wish this was something that I had embraced earlier on in my teenage years. People make being lonely being so sad and the like. I'm not saying in the sense of like relationship wise of you being single whatsoever. I'm talking about not having that many friends, and people make it seem as if it's terrible. Trust me, being alone is good. Like, I'm gonna tell you this, being lonely is amazing. I actually enjoy my own company so much because I don't have to like cope with like friendship drama sometimes, you know, that sort of thing. I don't have to cope with very difficult people in my life. Like, sure, it gets sad sometimes. You feel like, oh, I really wish I could like do this and this with someone, but at times it just feels really good. But the point is, enjoy your own company. People say being lonely is being lonely is sad and whatsoever. It's not. Your own company is the best company. So that's basically what I had for today's video. It feels really good to like vent all these things out. You know, there are a bunch of other things. Yeah, there are quite a number of things, but these are just the few things I thought, hey, let me just share with my 45 subscribers. I've really lost count on that because I haven't checked. And with that being said, I'm gonna catch you guys next time right here on Alice Spot.